Alright, it's October the 4th. It's 10-4. Over and out, right? Happy birthday to all Mr. Tackpans. It's his birthday today. We have the Sun in Virgo, Mercury exalted in Virgo, Venus in Leo, Mars still retrograde, and Pisces, the Moon is in Aries moving into Taurus by tomorrow. By tomorrow or later this evening, early in the morning, it'll be in Taurus. Saturn and Jupiter, both in Sagittarius, no longer retrograde with Pluto. But what we need to talk about is Mercury's fixing to go retrograde in a few days. And that's important now, because he's going to be retrograding back over the same area that we've just been through the past week and the week ahead. So we can watch as he goes forward. He's going to move into Libra, and then he's going to turn around on the 13th, which is 9 days, and he's going to go retrograde back over the same area that he is now. And that retrograde will continue with a Sun-Mercury retrograde conjunction on the 24th through the 25th in that time frame. And he will continue until the 3rd, when he will turn around, the 3rd of November, he'll turn around and start to go back forward, exalted in his own house. But by that time, Venus, see what day she comes in, Venus is going to be debilitated in that house, which that's the heart, right? Let's take her back to when she comes in on the 22nd. She will enter debilitation during all this process. Keep in mind, while all of this is going on, oh, I got to deal with Kelly. Okay, while all of that's going on, we got Mars still over here in Pisces retrograde. Got to keep that in mind. On the mutable cross, with Mercury retrograde on the mutable cross, with Saturn and Jupiter and the Moon and Pluto all in Sagittarius on the mutable cross. The Moon will have its short time on the mutable cross in Gemini. Otherwise, Gemini, who's actually ruling this age right now, is not in play. Gets a break, but still dealing with the rest of the mutable cross. You people on the mutable cross are having the roughest time of it, really. But you're where the transmutation occurs. If it wasn't for the mutable cross, we would never grow. We couldn't get out of this mess. This is really the beginning of the alchemical process. It's the mutable cross, which is the X, which is her in the to get her. And we'll talk more about the to get her. But what I really want to focus on is Mercury. And because right now, before he goes retrograde, these are the days you need to pay attention to. Stuff that you're not able to get done right now, that you keep putting off. And I know I'm doing that a lot. I'm having to juggle what I want to do with what I need to do and what I can do. And so I get that sometimes we have to prioritize and just do what we can instead of what we should be or needing to be doing. And when Mercury comes retrograde, that's going to, instead of it just running us all over and getting thrown under the bus by a Mercury retrograde, it's the time that you can actually go back and do those things. You address those situations that you're putting off right now. It's time we start more working with the planets to help ourselves instead of being hindered by them. And we can look at Mars the same way. With this Mars retrograde in water, which is, again, groupthink, and it's mutable, it can be very depressing and very sad, and it can be really hard on relationships as well, because it's your emotions, right? Everything is like in an emotional unstable. It's like being in rough waters. Well, as he's retrograde, we can actually address those. And when he turns around and comes back over that same area, just like Mercury is Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great, he goes over an area, he retrogrades, and goes back. That's the thrice. So we get you can use it kind of like a do-over, instead of being run over by it. But the key to that is paying attention now. And you do what you can now. And if you'll just wait, the opportunity is going to present itself. The things we are having to prioritize around can get done. And so that's a good thing. We're going to start looking, everything that we're in right now is duality. The thing is to get on that middle pillar. What you should do and what you want to do, and then what you can do. That middle pillar is always that can-do pillar. But sometimes it don't coincide with what we want or what we need to be doing. But things can get done, and we can work with it. And this is all coming up to that great crescendo. Let's take Mercury to when he begins retrograde, when he ends retrograde, which is going to be on the 3rd of November. And again, he will suddenly turn and be exalted on that mutable cross, even though Venus will still be debilitated. The moon in Taurus on that day, so great placement for the moon. How much longer do we have Mars in retrograde? He should be coming to a stop on 11/11. Let's see, let me count the numbers here. And at 5/7, still retrograde. Okay, he comes out on the 16th. 15th halts, 16th coming out of retrograde, 17th moving forward. So by November the 17th, we're going to be retrograde free of the inner planets. And so that's going to help, other than Venus still being debilitated until 11/27, 10 days later. And we'll have Venus and Mercury in Venus's house, the Sun in the house of Mars, Saturn and Jupiter coming really close to that conjunction, coming face to face. Mars out of retrograde, the moon in fire, cardinal fire on that day. So a lot of the tension is going to ease up everywhere except for right here. The two big power players. The ruler of ice and fire, and the ruler of heaven and earth, Saturn. Ice and fire being Jupiter, ruling the fire of Sagittarius and the water of Pisces. But it's all going to go down in Capricorn. Again, this is the to get her. We have to look at this in many different ways. Let me pause this for a second and take you somewhere. Now we're going to follow all this using the symbols. And what's going down with the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is occurring right between two eclipses, which make an X, which is over the United States, which is a symbol of the mutable cross. The United States itself is cardinal Earth, which is Capricorn. So that takes us back to that conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter occurring in Saturn's house of Capricorn. The out to get her is the mutable age, the mutable cross. The next 20 years that's going to play out in Capricorn, but it's the generation of Pluto in Virgo. That her, that X, that mutable age, the end of this age, who's going to get to control it? We can look back, and we're told anyway, like the First and Second World Wars was over who's going to get to rule for the next 1,000 years. The Third Reich, the Fourth Reich, all that crap. Same thing. It's a power play for who's going to get to rule. And they've kind of tricked us with the symbols. And we can overcome this if we get the symbols right. Because once you know how the trick's done, it don't work on you anymore. The magic don't work anymore. Let's go back to Stellarium. Now, each constellation, based on an element, rules a particular part of the planet or Earth or whatever you want to call it. This ground we walk on. And Cardinal Earth is represented by North America. I call her I Am Erica. And it's all about her, right? It's all about her can only be earth or water. That's the only her there is. And you have the her of Capricorn, Cancer, the her of Scorpio and Taurus, and the her of Virgo and Pisces. Fixed, mutable, and cardinal. The mutable her is Virgo, Pisces. The fixed her is Scorpio, Taurus, which are ruled by Mars and Venus. And then the cardinal her, which is Capricorn, Cancer, which is ruled by Saturn and the moon. And we're going to be talking a lot more about the elements, because that's the three. When you talk about the triune, you're always talking about an element. When you're talking about or a cross, right? We have 3 crosses, and every element has 3 phases. It's either fixed, mutable, or cardinal. So the 4 elements have 3 phases each: liquid, solid, and gas. Mutable, fixed, and cardinal. And we're going to be talking a lot about that. Now, let's bring us back to now. And I want to update y'all on what all that's going on, because I haven't posted a video lately, but a lot's been happening and a lot's going on, and there's a lot in the works. Some of my subs have really kicked in. I have a computer on the way. I have help here helping me now, and I couldn't be getting done around here what I needed done if I didn't have that help. And I am forever grateful. And a lot of things are fixing to change. I'm finally going to open another channel. I have Brighteon for my original videos from Lavette 11 that are there for you guys. But being just one of me, I really don't have time to go over there and go through the comments. Apologize for that, but I can only do what I can do. If I find myself over there occasionally, you might get a reply to one of your comments. And that's fixing to be the same with YouTube. This channel has, I kind of feel stuck in the middle with YouTube. I have so many new subs, and they basically really need to go back and watch a lot of videos. I'm getting asked, again, a lot of the simple questions that I've covered 3, 4, and 5 years ago. And I don't really have time to go back and play in the past, like retrogrades. You want to do that? Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, you're going to feel that need to go piddle in the deep past when you really need to be focusing on the area like now. The area that Mercury just covered and is going to cover before he goes retrograde. Keep in mind the delays and what you put off and all that. And this is the area that you'll cover, not months or years in the past. You kind of need to stay focused. It'll be easily distracted. It'll be easy to go back and try, I'm going to put try there, deal with things in the past. But that's not going to help you in the now. The whole key is to try to stay in the now. And when things are retrograde, it wants to pull you into the past. Like over here with this Mars in water, he's in groupthink. You're going to be tugged back emotionally to things in the distant past. Maybe even things you haven't reconciled. But where you're really going to get a forward motion, where you're really going to get to achieve certain goals, is the area that Mars was in before he went retrograde. That time frame. That's what you need to be focusing on. That's where you're really going to get those things done. Using it to work to your advantage emotionally. So there's a lot of melancholy, regrets from the past, depression, wish I would have done it different. Just lingering in that emotional, wallowing in that emotional soup we cook for ourselves. You can't do that. You try to stay as in the now as possible, and even when they go retrograde, it's that now that you just did. I hope I'm not talking in circles that can confuse you, but sometimes I feel like I need to say it several different ways because people learn in different ways and they understand in different ways. Some of you are visual, some of you I can just tell you and you get it. And others, you kind of need to play with it yourself. You need to learn by experience, which truly is the best teacher. That's why I've encouraged all of you to pick up your own crosses and carry them. Again, Stellarium tutorial videos show you how to do that. Alright, what else do I want to cover? So I am definitely I'm pushing to open a new channel. And it's going to be advanced. I'm not on that channel. I will not by any means stop and try to explain something that we've covered time and time again 3 and 4 years back. I'm going to bring in the Kabbalah, I'm going to bring in Freemasonry, and I'm going to bring in 3 sticks and tie it into the 3 crosses at Golgotha and the 3 crosses in the heavens. We're going to pull together all the common denominators of all the different teachings from the different ages and their points of views. Find the common denominators in there, what they have in common, and the aspects that they oppose, and look at the teachings and see what kind of information we can get out of that. So it's going to be heavy hitting. I'm going to be using a lot of terminology that only those that have been here long enough are going to understand, unless you're well versed in alchemy and some of these subjects, astrology, and even the linguistics part of it, because all of that plays a part in it. And I really feel like I need to get this going before Mercury hits that retrograde in 9 days. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, well, like I said, I have some help here now. I have a better computer coming, so it's going to make all the difference in the world. This thing I've got, it's really, I love it to death. It's got me this far. It's been there when I've been without a good computer. I've been able to go back and pick it up. But out of 3 USB ports, 1 works, kind of. The mic jack don't work, the audio jack don't work, and my power plug jack is going out. And it died on me a couple days ago, and I had to resurrect it from the dead. So it truly is on its last leg. But thanks to a sub, my generous benefactor is making it possible that I can move forward, and in a really good way too. So I want to talk about flash drives now, because through all what's been going on of me again losing my home and being in a hotel room, and all of a sudden just thousands of requests for these flash drives came down, and I call myself having it organized. And I wasn't able to get to the post office a lot of times when I needed to, especially where the customs papers are concerned, and they keep changing it on me depending on which post office I am at. So I got a shipment out last week, and then I notified a few of the people that they were on the way, for them to only tell me, oh, I've already got one. So it appears I just done a double shipment to the same people. So some of these have agreed, and I sent extra drives. So some of these people have agreed that they will send them out. As you send your request in, I will just forward your address to them, and they'll make a copy and get it out. Now we need to wait and see who all gets one and who all's missing one. So next week, I'm going to give it another week for everybody to receive their packages, because some have gotten them and some have not yet. So just hang on. Please don't request a drive at this time, because I need to make a video and let the week pass and see who got one and who has yet to receive one. So in a week, when I make the video, if you have not gotten yours, then I need to re-get your information and forward it along to the closest anchor, depending on the country that you're in. And so all of this is going to become a lot more organized as I'm able to delegate some of the responsibility to other subs that are willing to be anchors and take some of the load off me. So I can force, I really want to get this new channel up and going, because information is just coming to me. I'm just really waking up to a lot of this. Just daily veils are being ripped down, and there's so many exciting videos I want to make. But unfortunately, like I said, I have a lot of subs that they really don't even have a clue what I'm talking about. And that is only going to cause them confusion. So I'm going to continue my YouTube channel. But as Brighteon is my older videos, and that's basically the foundations of the language and astrology, to where this channel moved into the alchemy and astrology. And then the third channel, like I said, I'm full force bringing in Freemasonry and Kabbalah and some other teachings. Understand, everything is the same, but there are 12 different points of view. There are 12 houses of the zodiac. There are 12 sides to this same story. And they're really, right now, the game that's being played is the to get her game. It's the to get her. And it's to get, first and foremost, this Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Capricorn, because it falls in the middle of two eclipses on a solstice. The markers are just overwhelming. If anything they're trying to get, it's time. They're trying to steal it. They're trying to buy it. Whatever. Earn it. Some people are trying to earn it. But it's all about time. It's about the days ahead in our future. And right now, unfortunately, we're in the age of groupthink and the hive mind, and an age of transmutation and transformation. And that it's going to happen one way or another. The question is, transform or transmute into what? And well, that totally depends upon each of us individually, because it's going to go down in Saturn's house. And Saturn ain't about groupthink. Saturn does things as a community, but you will be judged, or you will be merited individually, not based on what group you're with, or what Jupiter ruling ideology, philosophy, and religion, right? What church you belong to, that's going to be irrelevant. And we're going to bring a lot of the religions into this. I cannot not do that. When you talk about Kabbalah, you're talking about the age of Aries. And we get a lot of that teaching in the Old Testament. And some of it from the Quran is about that age as well. Big fire and ice. You're going to have a lot of Pisces, Taurus, the Freemasonry, and a lot of different perspectives. Three sticks, the Native American tradition. It is going to be the teaching of the age of Aquarius. And there's just no way around that. Each age, each people had their own story of the three. Three fire. Right here, three fire. Leo fire, Sagittarius fire, Aries fire. Water. Pisces water, Cancer water, Scorpio water. Well, we're moving into air. And the next age of air is going to be different than the others. One, it's the fixed cross, and it's ruled by Saturn, the crown chakra, the higher self. And it is the age or the world without end. And we get heaven on earth. We get Capricorn right along with that, both ruled by Saturn. No other age is like that. They're all divided. Jupiter is divided between fire and water, as is Mars. Venus is divided between heaven and earth, but opposing each other instead of that side by side, rolling out of one age right into the other. It's world without end. And so you have to look at that from a different perspective. And when you do, suddenly the 12 become 11. The 12 become 11. But it is two teachings in one. But they have the same foundation stone. And this is the stone the builders rejected right here. The builders are the Masons. And their stone is a Gemini stone, which is Sirius. It's mutable air instead of fixed air. But those are the kind of things we're going to get into in the next channel. And I'll be posting about that as well. So again, hold off. No request for flash drives. The only thing that if I sent you a package and you received it, either this week or the coming week, then yeah, email me and let me know you got your package. And then when I make the video, if you have not, then if you've got your package, everybody I sent one to this week, I sent you extra drives. And you need to let me know whether you will be willing to take an address or two and send out when we get requests. And help me, or help us all, pull this thing together so as many people as possible can get these drives, can get these books. All script is good for edification, but if you don't know how to read it, it can cause you damage and harm. So first and foremost, we need to learn how to read. And the reading is imagery. It's symbolism. It's alchemy. And we really need to get that down. And I'm going to try to keep that basic teaching here on YouTube, in the middle between the two. That way, I want to keep it as simple as possible for everybody. So even when I start the new channel, for advanced, really advanced stuff, everybody still needs to watch the basics that I'm going to keep here on YouTube. I'm trying not to overload everybody's donkey because I feel like it'll just push you away. Some of this is really deep, but it's really cool too. I wish I had the time lately to make so many great ideas and videos from ideas that are just downloading into me faster than I can actually process them. As the veils come down, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it all as one thing, how everything is connected, but that each tradition has just something unique to teach us that you can't learn from another tradition. Each was given something special, and we need to learn what that is and what it means to us and how we can apply it to make it valuable information, to make it edifying, so that we can grow and we can become and we can transmute out of this. These stars have been ruling over us far too long. They are supposed to be serving us, not ruling us. And it starts with us. And it starts right here with Mars. The book of Proverbs teaches us that it starts with Mars and Mercury, which are the emotions and the tongue. You have to control your emotions and you have to control your tongue. And you're already being tested on your emotions. You're fixing to be tested on your tongues in these two retrogrades. And they're going to be happening opposing each other on the feminine axis of the mutable cross. So buckle up and get ready and check yourself, not everybody else. You're not responsible for them. you can't cast anybody to hell or heaven. You know, a lot of people going around, just go to hell. Well, you can't do that. You don't have that kind of authority over another person to cast them anywhere. But you do have the authority over yourself if you're willing to take it. And it's not going to be given to you. The body fights back. This is mind over matter. This is your will over your body, over the age, over your life. You got to take control of that tongue and make it work for you, not against you, just like your emotions. And if you can pass this test that's coming up on this mutable cross with these two in retrograde opposing each other, wow. And right in the middle of this going on, Saturn and Jupiter, it's going to be a doozy, because Mars is working with Jupiter on the mutable cross in fire and water, and Saturn is working with Mercury on the mutable cross, ruling heaven and earth signs, air and earth. So it's complicated, but really simple when you can see it in the big picture. And the more of these understandings of each teaching of each age, it might seem complicated, but the more you learn of them, the simpler it becomes. And the only thing that, just hang on, you got courage in your heart right now, but we're going to take a hit from Venus, because she goes into debilitation on the 22nd, and that's going to make it hard. Right now, she's in that house of courage, the courage of the heart of a lion, the courage of the heart of the lion. And then it's just going to feel like it fell off a cliff, right down into debilitation into Virgo. And that's going to be a little tough to choke. Mercury intended, because Mercury's going to be in that retrograde. They're going to be coming at each other, just like we saw Saturn and Jupiter come at each other until Saturn came out of retrograde. So heads up, everybody. Mercury retrograde ahead. I love you all. You know what to do. Be the best you can be. Be the kindness. Be the love. And check yourself. Bank that karma. We all need it right now. Might be cashing some of it in soon, huh?